Yay, we are live. We have some fun stuff tonight. Yay! We're going to give it just a couple minutes for some others to come in. And we're going to play tonight with some flowers, but they're succulent flowers. Hi, Kathy. Thank you for that sound check, Jamie. We have another Jamie. Hi, Sue. All right, let me play the intro, guys, and we're going to go ahead and get started. And I want to give a shout out to Naomi Garcia from EJ's Fun Prints. Guys, check out her YouTube channel and her Instagram. She has some really cute things that she's doing over there. Thank you for being a member, Naomi. All right. Hi, Louise. Hi, Sue. Susan's with us. Pat's with us. Well, guys, we have some new things. I'm going to cover a couple of new things before we get started here. We now have channel memberships. And what that means, what does that mean to you guys? I did a short little video that goes into detail about it, but I'm just going to cover it quickly here as well. And I've got one more window to open and then I can close some. Okay, what memberships means is that you could pay a membership to your YouTube. I'm having a window issue here. I got too many windows going. We are starting our levels. This is similar to being a Ko-fi or a Patreon supporter, but you can do it all here on YouTube. If I can get my previews to work for me, that would be great. There we go. We have what we call our makers and shakers level for 99 cents. And those of you who are Ko-fi or Patreon supporters, you may want to do this one. That way you're going to, as you can see, Jamie's posting a couple of little icons there. You get the heart icon, you get I believe the dancing crickets on there. You're going to get a little icon there beside your name. That's the little cricket. And you're going to start out with that first one. And as you progress, your cricket will change colors up until you get the cricket with the car. So super, super fun for us to have in chat. So you're going to get, if you're a Ko-fi or Patreon supporter, this is the level you probably want to do. You're going to get your loyalty badges. You're going to get the custom chat emojis that Jamie just showed you. And you're going to get 10% off any of the store merchandise, which is right below in the description. If you want to do any of that, it is there. Our next level is for somebody that has not, oops, missed my window there. I don't like doing these windows. They don't work right. The next level is our cutie collectors. What you're going to get is you're going to get everything that the makers and shakers level gets, but you're also going to get access to all of my Design Space files and my SVGs. Okay, all you're going to do is once you get yours, you'll be able to see, and it'll give you the information that you need to get to the files. And if you follow me on Instagram and Twitter, I'm going to follow you back. The information is below when you join that one as well. And that's going to help boost your ratings and boost mine too. And we're going to kind of work together with our social medias. So if you want to do that level, you want to jump on that one for level. And if you are one that makes, has an Etsy store, has a business page on Marketplace, anything like that. Doesn't matter if you do chalk couture, if you do Stampin' Up, if you do Close to My Heart, let me know. The information is going to be below. You're going to get everything the other two levels get, but 4 times a month, I am going to give you a shout out on my YouTube channel, just like you saw me do for Naomi at EG Fun. I'm sorry, I forgot the name up. EG Fun. EJ, I'm sorry, EJ. But you're going to get those shout outs and you're going to get stuff like that. And it'll either be a splash screen with your logo or I may just roll it in the credits. And just to show you what I'm talking about, I'm going to show you hers one more time. EJ's Fun Prints. That's what it was, Fun Prints. EJ's Fun Prints. And you can see that there. So $9.99 is going to get you the shout outs on the YouTube channel. It's going to get you, let me switch back over to the monitor. It's going to get you everything that the other levels get. So we're getting some fun stuff for you guys here on the YouTube channel so that we can make chat a little bit fun. And the more members we get, the more chat emojis that we get. They have certain levels, and once we reach a certain level, then I can add more. Right now we're at max. You've got the dancing cutie, you've got your cutie badge, you got dancing cutie, you got a thank you. We have an awesome, we have the heart badge. So lots of stuff, lots of fun stuff on there. All right, so let's get started in Design Space. Tonight's file, and I'm going to work on both files. I have a file for people who are non-supporters as well, because a lot of this, except the terrarium piece, are all Design Space images. And I'll cover that here. If you are a supporter, you're going to get this file, and it's already posted up. You guys can get it. You have access to it on craftingwithapril.co. You're going to get all the access images that I use, but the box is the one that I designed, and we're going to go over it here shortly. If you are a non-Ko-fi or Patreon subscriber and you're not on our Cricut Cutie Collectors level on YouTube, then you can get this file. I have not tested this box. I have not checked it for size. It is just a file. I just put together the file for you guys with the Design Space images so that you can have something to work off of tonight. And you can see in there, you can change this box up for whatever you want. You might want to cut one out of paper and test the size, make sure everything fits. You may need to do some resizing. But if you are a supporter, you have the file and we know it all fits and it's cohesive. So just before you cut this file, make sure that you cut a test box and see if it fits. All right, and next I want to go over to a new project. Excuse me. We had lots of questions about print and cut in the group this week. Lots of questions on it. So I wanted to go over and cover it really quick before we start making our design and just show you guys a couple of things. Any image can be print and cut. When you're uploading images and you go to upload and you bring an image in, such as these, when you bring it in, it's going to ask you to clean it up. And you can see I have no background around this guy. I had to clean all of that up, okay? It's going to come in as a print and cut. You can look right here and it says on the fill, it says print and shows my image, and then cut has a red line through it, meaning it's not set up for just cut. And if you look over in the layers panel to the right, you can see that it says print and cut, and that's what it's going to do. Anywhere that you see grid behind it means that that is negative space and it's going to be cut away. All right, so when that is cut away, then you have your little cutie. But what if I just wanted the shape? I don't want to print it. I don't want to do that. I can come up here and change it to no fill, and then I can change it to cut. It should automatically do it, but you can pick your color or whatever you want here. And you can see that's not very smooth. It's not cleaned up really well. And that's what happens with PNGs and things that you clean up. They are not going to cut the best. Unless they were designed and made for this. When you're cleaning them up, you have to keep in mind that they may be a little bit rough and your machine may make funny noises. And it's just because, let me pull this up. You see all of these little ragged areas here? There are a ton of nodes in there. This down here is pretty smooth. It looks pretty good, but all up in here, you can see some jaggedness. My machine's going to sound funny when it's cutting those areas. And that's completely normal. It's not going to hurt the machine. It's just going to take a little longer to cut. When you're bringing them in and cleaning them up, making sure they're cleaned up better will help you when you do that. But why did my picture disappear? My picture disappeared because when you upload an image to Design Space, the Cricut, or Design Space, not your Cricut, Design Space sees the shape. It does not see the image. Not really, okay? It's seeing the shape. If I upload this as, let's just do this one here too. If I upload it as a print and cut, it sees all the nice pretty colors and everything. But as soon as I change it to the shape or just a cut, it doesn't see all of this. It's not going to cut this in layers because it's one single layer over here. There's not a light pink and a medium pink and a dark pink and a darker pink. They're not 5 shades of green. I don't have 15 layers here. So it only sees the one layer. That's it. One layer. That's all it can see. So when you take that print away, it sees nothing but the shape. And that's why the image is disappearing on you guys. If you want your shape to stay, let's go and see if I can find some images. What should I show? Let's see. Do we have any leprechauns in there? I hope I spelled that right. Maybe. Yeah, here we go. So we have some leprechauns in here, and some of them may be print and cut. I'm just going to grab a couple of them. If you'll look, when you're looking at your images, most all these look like cut. We're going to see. When you look on there, the little information, you'll see little printers. Some of them are going to say print and cut. So here's the difference. You see now all of these layers when I select this guy right here, all of these different color layers. That tells Design Space that I can cut all of those colors individually and I don't need to print it. But what if I wanted to print it? I could do the opposite here. Because I have all of these layers, it's similar to an SVG. I have all of these layers. Now I can change it to print. And it's going to flatten it. You can do that by selecting print and making it like this. But you have to remember, when you do it up here, see what happened in that layers panel? Now it's going to print each one of those and cut each one of those in all individual layers. And that's how it's going to do. So if you're like, it's not working right, it's printed all this and this, that's why. That's what happened. Because I left it all in layers and I just told it I wanted it to print it. So it's going to print it and it's going to cut it, but it's going to cut it all individually. So how do I fix that? Very simple, very easy. I'm going to get him all back where he was, back to cut. There we go. Oh, he's still on print. There we go. So now he's all on cut just the way that I brought him in. If I select them all and I come down here to the bottom and I flatten, what flatten means is it's going to make it all one layer. Now watch that layers panel when I click that flatten button. Boom. One layer. Just one single layer. So now when I send it over, it's going to print this and then it's going to do nothing but cut the outside shape of this. None of this inside is going to cut like it would previously. So is that clearing up print and cut for everybody? Does anybody have any print and cut issues? This is the same with text. If I have text in here, let's see. Now this happy crafting right here, I'm just going to slide this guy over. Let's just say I wanted to put that hat there, and I want to curve that text. Yeah, let's do it that way. Say I wanted to curve that text and put my little hat in here. And I had this all ready to go. But it's, you can see right here, let me hide these guys. So right here is my text. You can see it selects my text, and then I have my hat. Let me just delete these. We don't need them. So I have my two layers. If I select both of those and I flatten, okay, it's going to print and it's going to cut it. How about now, Sue? Is that better? Let me adjust the sound. Is that better for you guys? Hopefully. Just let me know, Sue. I'm going to continue on. So if you have this flattened and it's ready, you can see it's print and cut. But what's going to happen, because I can see the grid back here on this hat. You can see that grid back there. I can see it's still really quiet. How about now? Is that any better? Hopefully it will straighten out whatever it is. Okay, so we have this, and I can see this grid back here. So what's going to happen when I print and cut this? What's going to happen is it's going to cut around the hat, all around. Wherever you see this white behind there, let me just change the color of the canvas so you guys can see. Anywhere that you see this new color come in, I wish they would, there it is. You see how it's yellow back there? Everywhere that you see yellow, it's going to be negative space. It's going to cut it out because I didn't flatten that properly. Okay? So let me get a shape, and we're going to make that shape white because white does not print. Let me get a circle. I'd rather have a circle. White does not print. So I'm just going to make that circle white. I'm going to arrange and send it to the back. I am going to select my image, and I may be putting several things in here. I'm going to select them both, and I am going to flatten those together. Now you see that the yellow behind them has disappeared. I have flattened it to that circle, so it's going to print it just like this, and then it is simply going to do nothing but cut the circle. And if you notice right here, I have this caution sign. Guys, if you have a caution sign, you need to look at it. It's telling you something, and it's telling me right here that my print and cut image is way too big. It's not going to fit. It's not going to work because print and cut is 6.75 by 925. So in order to make that work and make that go away, I have to resize it. So make sure that you're paying attention to your layers panel because it's going to tell you a story. If you're looking at it and you read it, everything that it tells you is going to read you the story. And I have made this one really short story from the one we had before. If you'll remember where I had the big long line of print and cut. If it says print and cut and you have 5 layers in here, something's not right. Because when you flatten for print and cut, it should be one single layer. Flatten does not mean welding, Kim. Huge difference in flatten and welding. Flatten, again, is going to take as many images as you have there, and it's going to flatten it into one single layer. Let's just grab one again. And here you can see. You see all of those cuts? If I flatten it, he becomes one layer. What happens if I weld this guy? What would happen if I welded it? It's going to become all one layer, but it's all going to be one color of one layer. I lose my print, all of my pretty colors. It's going to become one single layer, and it's just going to cut it. And what welding does is if I wanted to put this here for some reason and I wanted to weld it to that flag and do just print and cut on all of it, I can do that. But what I first need to do is ungroup everything, and I want to select this piece back here. I want to unflatten it. Make sure I just have that. So I can move that off to the side. And then I'm going to select everything except this back copy. Okay, if you look in the layers panel, I'm selecting that back copy, and I'm going to hold my shift key and get the circle. So now I have the circle and the leprechaun with the flag back piece only, and I'm going to weld. Now I have a new shape. And that's what welding does. Now I have a new shape right here. Totally new from what I had before. Okay, I'm going to make that, I change that back to the green that it was, or the white, doesn't matter. Let's make it the dark green, just so our image looks right. And I'm going to arrange. I think he was a little bit darker green than that. There we go. I'm going to arrange and send that to the back because that's where I need it to be. I need it to be on the back. Now I'm going to line it back up so that his legs and his pants and his arms all line up together. So now they're lined up. And then I'm putting my hat back on there. Now I'm going to select it all and I'm going to flatten. And now I have a new shape because I welded a shape onto the back of it, and I have a brand new image. So welding's going to help you create those images, Kimberly. It's going to help you create boxes, going to help you create cards, shapes, flowers, because you get to weld those images together and tell it how you want it to cut. Because as you saw, we didn't have that big circle behind his flag before, and now we do. And it's all one single layer, all welded together, and then flattened with the colors on top. Did that make sense for everybody? So let's go and let's put our project together. Guys, if you have questions, you can put them in caps and ask, and we'll come back to them if the moderators can't get you an answer that you understand in the chat. As always. So we have this cute little terrarium, and I did make a couple of modifications from the one. This is my mock-up, but super cute, super easy and fun. Great for a desk, or somebody said nursing home, hospital table, something quick and easy that you guys can make. And you can go as elaborate on it as you want or as simple as you want. Totally up to you. And I did do some of my stuff ahead of time just so you guys, because I knew we had to have do a lesson, and I didn't want to take up our time there. And I'm going to do something a little bit different on this one that I did from my mock-up. But I cut this out of foil acetate, and we are going to remove the plastic backing off of it. And if you using the Cricut foil acetate, if you fill, I don't think we're getting everything in camera here. There we go. Didn't mean to make you guys sick. If you fill your Cricut foil acetate, one side, if it has a pattern on it, it's going to feel a little bit different than the other side, and that's going to help you figure out what side your plastic coating is on. You want to get rid of that so you have a nice, non-cloudy, crisp, clean box. And this is all scored. You're going to fold on all of the scores and fold them away from you. I did not do my arrows just because they're small and I didn't want that score to weaken them. Oops, I left some plastic there. You can see the difference. See if I can get that off of there. There we go. But we're just going to fold on all your score lines. Now, if you've chosen a different box out of Design Space, or you're not a Ko-fi supporter and you don't have this box, you can pick a box and cut it out of acetate. And just a little hint, any of them that have arrows on it like this are most likely were originally designed for acetate. Why does that matter? It matters because if you do the big long tabs that we're used to, then you can really see them. They really pop up and show up. So if you have these little tabs like this, it's a lot easier when you go to put them together so that you can see them and they don't show up once the project is made. Now, I made mine kind of big and they showed more than I wanted them to. I don't know if you can see that one there. They don't show up at every angle, but at some angles they do. So what I'm going to do, and you can do this too if you want to, I'm just going to snip the top of these off. I didn't want to go through and redesign the whole box because this was an afterthought. I don't even know if it's going to work. We're just going to try it. But I'm just snipping off the tops of all of these points because I don't need them. I want this to be as unobtrusive as possible on my terrarium. So I wanted to cut mine down. And then we're going to make it a little sturdier than what my, oops, I picked up my plastic again. It stuck to my hand. But that's all I'm doing is I'm just taking the points off and flattening them. And I would have just basically had to remake the whole file to do this for you guys in there. And I thought, you know, it's okay if they stay, but if you want yours to be less obtrusive, trimming them off isn't that big of a deal. Okay, got them all done. So all of your slits, and you want to be careful, they are next to the edge, and they're next to the edge for a reason. And that is just so that it will catch. Okay, that's all we want it to do. But you're going to put this box together differently than you do normally. Normally we put the tabs to the inside. We're not doing that with these. We're starting on the outside and we're putting it in that slit. And that slit will hold it. Now if you're afraid that it's not going to hold well enough or it's going to pop apart on you, you can use some little glue dots. Like some little miniature glue dots, and stick those on those tabs. I get these from, I want to say Stampin' Up. I'm pretty sure it's Stampin' Up. Looking for a, yes, that's what it is. They're my Stampin' Up dots. That's what they are. Well, they might be blue. So these might be my Stampin' Up. I don't know where these are from. I'm just going to be honest, guys. But they're just little glue dots. And you can barely see them. So when you push those in, then you can lock it in place. But you have that little problem there of them sticking. You have to make sure that they're in position and then press them down. But you can see that it's going to leave just a little cloudy. It's not that intrusive. So, I mean, that is one way of doing it. So if you want to do those, but you don't need them. And I'm fixing to show you that. I just wanted to show you that if you want, just going to go through, have one here on this side too. So you're just going to put all of those together. And some of them may pop back apart while you're putting it together and fiddling with it, and that's okay. They'll go. It's just because we're putting stress on them. You can bend them a little bit if you need to get them to pop in there. But there's really no right or wrong way. You can start at any position that you really want to start on this. See, that guy wants to be a little booger. I put him in the wrong way. It's hard to see the acetate. There we go. We're just going to walk it around, just work it. I am just kind of popping that little slit with my fingernail just to make sure that it's open before I start. But just feeding them through. You can get this, Kimberly. This is Cricut acetate. You can get it on Cricut.com. There's a link down below for Cricut shopping. If you use my links, I will earn a small commission, and I appreciate you guys who do that. Help support the channel, our projects, all of that good stuff. And me, it helps me buy materials. But I'm just going through and putting all, that one's going to be tricky because I can't get my hand in there. There we go. Almost done with the box. Again, I'm just breaking loose my acetate where my little slits are. Just be careful with them. Acetate's pretty strong. You should be okay. If you do this from paper, you might tear it. Get in there. And that one popped out. Get in there. And I have two more right here, and we're done. I say we are. I just broke that one loose to pop that. I promise you, it's easier than what I'm making it. I just can't see, you guys. I really can't see. There we go. And last but not least, and now our box is together, okay? And if you want to go through, like I said, and put your little tabs on there, and if you have one that keeps popping loose, you shouldn't once it gets together. It should pretty much stay because they're going to catch on each other. You're done, and you can set it to the side. Now, in that file, you're going to find 8 of these, okay? And all you're going to do is you're going to take and hold it and cut the end off. Don't throw it away, save it. You're going to use that. Let me get rid of some of these little pieces of plastic from that. And then you're going to take your quilling tool or whatever it is that you use, and you're just going to roll these. Just going to roll them. You've been ordering everything, Kimberly, but you haven't used anything. It takes a while to build stash, so, you know, the best thing I can say is to buy what you need as you go, and that will help you build your stash. Buy the mystery boxes when we announce those. Guys, I do announce the mystery boxes in chat and in email. Occasionally, I will do a video if I have the stuff. Cricut does not send me the mystery boxes anymore. They only go to product experts. So that's why I don't do the videos anymore. But I still announce them and I still send it out via email. So if you sign up, all you have to do is register at craftingwithapril.co, and nothing to click, just register, and you'll get the emails when they come out. And we also put them in chat, in the, I mean, not chat, but the group in the announcements. And all I'm doing is just rolling all of these. Now I did cut them out of 2 different colors of brown. And these browns that I'm using tonight are a little bit different than the ones I did in my mock-up. And that's simply because I thought I had more of that paper and I was using scraps on my mock-up. And that was all I had left of them. Mystery boxes are Cricut materials. Things like iron-on, tools, Cricut cuties, vinyl, paper, felt. I mean, just whatever Cricut decides they want to put in them. And then you guys get them for like, they range from $29.99 to $39.99. Sometimes they're digital, which means cartridges. And those are put straight into your account as soon as you purchase them. And then some are physical, which have all the materials in them. And you get those to help you build your stash up. It may be stuff that you will use. I've even seen mats in them. So you may get stuff that you don't use right away, but then when you go to do a project, you're like, hey, wait, I have some of that. I got it in a mystery box. So, and if it's something you know you won't ever use, it's good practice material. So tons of ways to build up your stash. So once you've rolled all those up, and I did do 2 different colors. You've got 4 in one color and 4 in another. And I just kind of mixed them up. So I've got 2 different colors of brown. If these are the 2 colors I originally used, and I do like them better, but you can see that they're just a shade or 2 off. This is what I had. So this is what we're using. And we're just going to throw some into the base. Yay, a new subscriber. Welcome, welcome. So throw what you think you might need in there. You can, it doesn't matter. You can throw them in after you do this other step, however you want to do it. You can pull some out if you need to. But then you're going to have a piece like this, okay? You guys who are not supporters and doing your own file, you're going to have to make your own piece according to whatever the shape of your terrarium is. And ours is a pentagon, so that's what I used. Whatever the base shape of yours is, that's what you're going to need. And it's going to go in and fit on top of your dirt, like this. And then we're going to put dirt on the top of it, okay? So I'm just going to use a glue gun for this. In no rhyme or reason, guys. Oops, I just got glue on my mat. I'll get it off. I'm just throwing some glue on there for right now. And I'm just going to take these and drop them. Wherever they land, fine. No rhyme, no reason. Just put them on there. That was hard, wasn't it? Super easy. I'm just going to drag that back. Don't get glue on your mat like I did, because then you'll have a big mess like I have. I'll let that get hard and then I can get that off of there. And then just shake it off and then do it again in your bare spots. So I'm just going to put some right there. Just going to stick a few in. And this doesn't have to be completely covered yet, guys, because you still got your plants to do. Need a little more glue in there. But just kind of cover in the big spots. And that's pretty good right there. And don't worry if any fall off to the side. If they're hanging off to the side, you got some space. It's okay. I want one right there. I think I'm going to leave it for now. I'm going to leave about 5 or 6 out. And we're just going to let that cool. Okay? And just leave you a few out so that you have them, and you'll see why here in just a minute. So I'm just going to set those to the side to cool. That's all there is to that step. And next we're going to work on some of our flowers. I am going to actually unplug my hot glue. I am done with it so that it can cool off and be out of the way. That's all the hot glue that you need. You do need a scrap of paper or your Teflon sheets, stuff like that. Anything that you use when you ink. And we have our little cactus. Here are succulents. I don't know what you guys call them. We call them hens and chicks here in Georgia. And these are cut in 2 different colors. You have 2 different ones. So I've got all my pieces. Maybe I should start on the other side so it's clean and you guys can see. Maybe you can see easier. Okay, and I usually end up going on the textured side anyway, but I'm going to try not to do that. I did it in my mock-up. So I'm flipping. This is Cricut paper, so I'm trying to get my textured side down. No, I don't think it really matters with my Cricut paper, but you're going to need some tweezers too. And I just had mine here. And now they're gone. So I think that's pretty good. And on this teal paper, this is the dark teal, by the way, guys. Jamie, I can't think of the exact name of it. It's Cricut. They have 2. They have a light and a dark, and this is the dark one. I am using Close to My Heart ink. I'm using Sangria. Use what you have, guys. I have a link to Close to My Heart down below if you want it. And I'm using some sponge daubers. You can get those at scrapbook.com, at Amazon, at Hobby Lobby, at Michael's. You can get them in tons of places. But I don't remember what color this is. I forgot exactly what they call it. I call it dark teal. And I'm just dabbing some ink on the dauber. You don't have to do it hard. And I'm starting with the tiny piece first. And I'm basically going to just cover it. Some of the green's going to show through, but you basically want it pretty dark. Okay? Then we're going to move up to the next one. And I'm just going a little bit lighter on my ink with that one. But almost the same coverage as I have on this one. Okay? I'm going up to the next one. And now when you get here, this one's tricky. I like to hold mine instead of doing it on the paper. That way I can control how much ink I get on it. Because I can see the edges and I can put my thumb in the way. And I'm just brushing the edges. And you can do it as dark or as light as you want it. It's your project. I like mine a little dark because when the ink dries, it's going to lighten up slightly. Or mine does. You can see this is exactly the same thing that I did here. Okay. So now I have that piece. I dropped a piece of dirt. Okay. And then we're going to move up to the next one. Same thing. I'm going to kind of dab the edges and then come inside, going lighter. Make sure on this type of project, guys, I'm just going to strongly recommend that you use a solid core paper. For those of you who do not know what we mean by a solid core, and I know I'm getting ink all over my hands, it doesn't bother me. If it bothers you, you may want to wear gloves to do this. But what we mean by solid core is if you look at the side of this paper, you don't see a white edge when it's cut. That means it's the same color all the way through, front to back. When you cut your paper, if you have a white edge, that is a white core paper. And you will see that white edge. And on something like this, it won't be very pretty. I mean, it'll still look nice. Don't get me wrong. It will look nice. But you will have to go through and ink the edges to make it look really nice. And that takes forever. But I'm basically just coming through and doing the same thing on all of these pieces. Cut you a couple of them. Practice with it. Use your white core paper to practice with. That will help you get the inking. Now when I get to the bigger ones, I'll show you inking from the mat down here. But these smaller ones, they're going to be more prominent, and I want to control the way the ink goes on them. And it's just easier for me this way. Do what's easiest for you. If it's easier for you on the mat, then do it that way. Yes, Cricut cardstock is awesome. It's fantastic for these type projects. So we're just doing these and setting them to the side. Now here's some of the bigger ones, and you can start off the edge and come in. But I bend my cardstock when I do that. You have to hold it down really good. But you brush in to get the edge, and then you brush back out. Okay? But again, to me, I like to get that concentration of ink on there from my fingers. This is not a punch, it's a Cricut image. Let me pop over there while I'm inking this, because you guys are just watching me ink, and show you what that image is. If I can get my mouse to cooperate here. And did it transition? No, it did not. There we go. It didn't want to play fair. Let me go to my projects. I'm not going to save this. This file, let me go ahead and give you guys this file as well. But you can look right here, and it will tell you what images. This is Succulent, and it's image M as in Mary, 103643, E as in Elizabeth. That's the image that we're working on and inking right now. It's that same image right there. And you can see they went really light on their edges. I'm going darker. I'm doing mine a little bit different. And let me get you guys the image number here. I know I have it right here. Oh, I know what I'm doing. I'm hitting the wrong side of my mouse because I have this dauber on my finger. And hopefully this will show up. I'm going to read it out just in case chat doesn't allow it. There we go. Well, there we go. Trying to click on the wrong part of my mouse. It is design. This is the way that it reads now. These are the new way that your design spaces read. Is it HTTPS : / D as in David, S as in Sam, the number 4, cricut.com / hashtag / design backslash number 20661834. You're not a bug, Kimberly. You can do that. That is the premium. That is the yearly price. Or you can do the $9.99 a month. Or you can buy just the image. You can buy just the image. If it's allowing you. It should say on there. If you put the image into your project and you go to cut it, it will charge you for the image. One time, then you own it, and you can cut it as much as you want. Okay? How many of you have never inked before? It's fun. Everybody should try it at least once. It adds a little extra pop to your cards, to things like your flowers. Your rolled flowers will be awesome if you ink the edges before you roll them, and I'm going to show you that because we have some rolled ones. So I'm just going to set those to the side. I'm done with the sangria. I don't need it anymore, so I'm going to put that away. And then I'm going to get a baby wipe. Get some of this ink off. I have been inking with alcohol inks today on cups and then inking these. I need to get some alcohol. My alcohol is in the other room with my cups. I took it in there. I just don't want it to come off on the others. Now we have another one just like that one. But this one's going to be a little bit easier to do because I'm going to be using a pigment ink. Okay, and the pigment inks go further, and I'm using White Daisy. The other was a water-based dye ink, and this is a pigment ink. They take a little longer to dry, but you need less of them. Just going to scoop my others out of the way. I'm just going to touch it a couple of times, and you can see how dark that is. I'm just going to knock it off. And then I'm just going to come in here and just catch the edges of all of my pieces on these. You can bounce up and down on these, however you want to do it. But you want to kind of leave some of the color, the dark green. We're just kind of dusting these. And I'm just going to grab the ink from over here. It will work. There's my teeny tiny piece. I'm missing a piece. It's in here somewhere. But these go much faster with the white. It covers so much quicker. The pigments do. And I know those look a little odd right now, but they won't when we're done. You can, and again, ink as little or as much as you want on these. If you want to ink the whole thing, you can. If you just didn't have the color cardstock you thought you needed, you can put this on as heavy or as light as you want it as well. My teeny tiny middle piece is important, and I don't know where he is. And I didn't turn this over. I forgot to. I do that all the time. I forgot to put my textured side down, but I'm going to live with it. You can flip it over and do the other side. It won't hurt anything. Okay, there's that little piece. I knew he was in there somewhere. Oh, I did find him. I did do him. Okay. And then we're done with the white. That's all you need for that. And then I am going to bring these over. I did cut all of this. There's that little piece. I did cut all of this on intricate, guys, and it will cut it on that. And I don't know if you can see that without something dark. But you can see how well that cut. Cut it on intricate cardstock, and it is Cricut cardstock. This is the green. All of these are Cricuts. And then we have our rocks too. I forgot to get some ink for my rocks. I'll have to go over and grab a color for that. We have our rocks, and then we have our rolled. These are our jade pieces. Now I inked both sides of these, and I used the julep on one, and I used evergreen on one. And all I'm doing is kind of hitting the edges of these. Doesn't matter if some are lighter or darker. And then I'm just going to flip it over. Because this one is rolled, I'm doing both sides. And I'm just doing a touch of ink. I don't want to do a whole lot of ink on this one. And the julep is not very dark. You just kind of want to variegate it some. The center of this one can be darker. Just so you get it like you like it. And then I took the backs of these. I think this is the one I used evergreen on. You can use the julep too. I'm just going to use the same dauber. And I just kind of pushed the ink up, trying to make it look a little variegated at the back. You don't even have to ink these if you don't want. You can do them solid. But I just didn't like all of that light green. And this is the pewter ink. And I'm just going to take that and I'm just going to go all over the edges and stuff of my rock. Just kind of, all right. Don't be scared to mess up, guys, because you can flip it over and do the other side. You have two chances. And I just wanted to variegate it just a tiny bit. Ooh, I didn't want to do that. There we go. So that was the pewter. Now we're ready to assemble everything. And this part goes pretty quick. Just going to get rid of my paper here. Don't need it now. And I'm going to start with my little jade plant. And just like we rolled the dirt, we're going to roll this. And we're going to start with the small end. And we're just going to roll it. And you can use hot glue or you can use regular glue. Now, I did not let these loosen up. I kept them tight and I glued them. I don't think my glue gun is still hot enough. So I'm just going to roll that in. You can let it relax a little if you want to. But all I did was just kind of fan them out. I left it in a tight roll. Okay, and just set it to the side. And I am using art glitter glue. You can get that at Amazon or you can get it at artglitterglue.com. It does not have glitter in it. It dries clear. It dries matte. And I'm just holding it while I fan out my pieces. No rhyme or reason. But that's why we inked it, so you can see that it's kind of variegated in there. That's what's going to give it the real look, to make them look real. My husband thought they were real. So then you're going to take these pieces, and with your inked piece to the back, you're just going to put a valley fold right down the middle. They are scored. Doesn't really matter which way you do them as long as you fold it down the middle. You want your light side up. So we've done those, and then of course these pieces too. They don't need a whole lot of bending. Yay! We have a new subscriber. Welcome, welcome. So we're going to fold all of those pieces too. And now I'm just going to run just a little bit of glue down the center of that, and we're going to line them up, match them up and line them up. Okay. Same thing on that one. Make sure you get that end on those. You don't want it to flop, you want it to stay together. I love art glitter glue. So now we're going to put our little guys together here. Now these have a hole and a split in them so that you can bring them together. I did not bring mine together much, didn't need it. But I brought those together just like that. And it's okay if it's off just a little bit, not going to matter at all. Just kind of making that cup. Now with these we have to make our cup. So I've got my paper crafting pad here, and I'm using the ball tools. These are fondant tools. They call them flower tools on Amazon too. But I'm just rolling down the middle of those. And I use two different sizes. These are the McGill's. But you can find them by looking flower tools and fondant tools. You'll find both of them. And then this one needs to be cupped. And then this one. Now we're getting kind of small, so I'm going to have to switch tools. And on this little bitty one, I'm going here with this one. This one I use a lot. The finish is gone off of it. And then I've got my two little bitty pieces. And these are real simple to do. You're just going to take your tool and you're going to press down into your mat. Just like that. Just press it down. Just press it down. And that's going to give it plenty of cup. Okay? I'm going to start with this bottom piece. And I'm using foam dots because I want some dimension. So I'm just going to take one here and place it in the center and peel it off. Then I'm going to take the next biggest one, and I'm going to put these petals in between those and give it a press. And I'm going to use another medium dot. Peel that top off. And then we're going to place this one. And we're going to, again, you're going to set them in between the leaves of the last one. You want to rotate your leaves so that when you're placing them like this on each layer. Each time you go up. So if this one's here, the next one's going to go in between these two. You want to go in between the one on top. And then I glued this layer. So just two foam squares, and then we're going to glue this one. Just a drop of glue. And you can see better here that I've got that one in between. Just going to give that a second to dry. And there you are. We're going to glue this one. Just set it in between. And you can use your tool just to give them a little push. And be careful because your foam dots are under there. You don't want to press down really hard because it'll slip. Because your foam dots are down there. And then we're going to go with that next smallest one, just a drop of glue. We're going to drop it right in. And now you're going to need your tweezers. I had my other ones out here. These will work. And I'm just going to put a little dot on there. And we're going to set it right, well, I say I am, in the center. And you can see those white spots. Those are going to dry and dry clear. You won't see them when it's done. So we're going to set that to the side and we're going to pick up our other one. We're going to start again with this one. And you don't even have to bring this one in. You can just cup it if you want to. I don't know why I put glue on that side. Just going to bring them together. And again, I'm going to take my tool. We're just going to press down on it and roll it. And I'm just rolling in a motion. Just like this. That's all I'm doing. And it'll automatically cup. And if you're not getting enough cup, your tool may be too big. Go to this another size down. Okay. And here we go with our little bitty guys again. And I'm just going to take and push down on him. Not going to do anything but push down. And let him form up around the top. These are really close together, and that's okay. That's the way nature is. That's the way they grow. And then we're going to glue. So you've got 3 layers with dots, or 2 dots and 3 layers. And now you're going to glue the remaining layers. Little teeny tiny ones. There you go. And now our flowers we're ready to put it together. We're done, guys. I don't need this anymore. Where's my pen? I actually should have left my glue gun on. There is one more step with it, but you can use regular glue too. I'll just go ahead and turn it back on. Maybe it'll get warm while I'm working on it. So now I've got my dirt, and I know that it's going to fit in there, and I've got my spare pieces. Okay. I'm just going to turn the point, oops, I lost another one. Turn the point the way that to the front of the terrarium. And then how you want to put them in is totally up to you. You can sit here and play with it. This is the ones you need the hot glue for. You don't know how I want them in there. How, right there. So I'm just going to take, it's still warm, good, a little hot glue on the bottom of that, and I'm just going to place it down right there. That's where he's going to live. And the same thing with this one, he's going to live right there. Okay. I'm still looking. Doesn't matter if your dirt falls off if you didn't get it glued good, because it's going to go back on there here in just a second. Don't know if I want to bring this one to the front or this one on this one. I think I'll make it a little bit different. So now I'm just going to use another medium pop dot on the bottom of these. That's all I use, 2. I got my dot went in there, my dot cover, right there. You don't need a lot of pressure, just a little bit, just to get them to stick. And now we're going to start with the large one here, and I'm just going to put a little bit of hot glue right on the base at the bottom. Get rid of my glue hair. And then I'm just going to find a place to stick him where he sticks up. I might want to stick him right back there. That looks good. And then we're going to go with the medium, do the same thing. Just kind of stick him close to the other one, and it'll stick to that one. You don't have to worry. I don't know what you guys call these, but we call them mother-in-law tongues here in the South. I think there's another name for them, devil something, I don't remember. Devils. How cute is that? So now where the white dots are showing, guess what we're going to do? You're going to get a piece of your rolled dirt and you're going to stick it right there and hide it. Same thing back here in the back. Don't overthink it, guys. Just plop them in there. And you have room to do a couple more plants if you want to. There are several in Design Space, but I'm just kind of hiding that. And then I am just going to use these little extras and plop them up to hide the edges of my pentagon base. Basically, that's all that we're doing. Just pop them in there. You just need a couple, any places that are really big, and then we're just going to toss those others in there after. So you have it all put together, and you're just going to kind of fit it. You may have to take your top loose and then put it back together, and it's not a big deal. If you do, just go ahead and do that. And then those extra pieces of dirt, again, I am using a different color tonight than I used on my original. The darker is better. Your pentagon won't show as much, or your base piece won't show as much if you use the darker base. I just didn't have the right cardstock. How cute. We're done. But yeah, make sure you're getting that really dark, rich browns. Because to me, they just looked better. You can't really see because those were so close in color that you can't see my pentagon in this one. You can see it a little bit in this one. Oops, I popped loose one of my... There we go. How cute is it? Super fun, super easy, a little time consuming, but we did go over. It really only took us about 45 minutes because we did spend 30 minutes going over stuff. I forgot my rocks. My rocks, I forgot them. You could do your rocks. I'm just going to show you guys how to do them real quick. Take your flower tool and you're going to roll those too. Make them lumpy and bumpy. Okay. Just take that out of there. I'm going to dump some more of my dirt out too, so I can use it to help cover. Don't need that much. And just place your rocks in there where you want them. I didn't even glue the others in. I just stuck them down in between some of the pieces of dirt. That was it. That's how easy they were. Just like that. Stuck it back in. And sprinkle my dirt. And I'm going to close him back up here. There we go. I think I will put a couple of pop dots on strategic points on mine. And you may want to as well, just so they don't pop apart. It's popping apart because I placed that big pentagon in there and pushed it apart. But there we go. How easy is that, guys? You could use a drop of art glitter glue too. I keep losing my tweezers. I got a piece of dirt right there. I don't want him there. There we go. So super cute. How cute is that going to be on a hospital table or your office, your desk? Cute little gift. You can put those in a jar, guys. You don't have to cut this box. You can put these flowers in the dirt in a mason jar. Put a lid on it. Make it look real. Put some glossy accent drops on the inside of the jar. Make it look like it's sweating. How cute. All right. I thank you guys for watching me. Make sure that you join us on Wednesday. Wednesday is going to be supporter and one-time supporter files. And if you're a one-time supporter on Ko-fi, you'll be able to get Wednesday's files. And then Friday, we do Freebie Fridays, and the file is for everybody. So I just wanted to give you guys an extra file this week. That's why I did one for supporters and then one with a different box for everyone else because we were not live on Friday. Right, Sue? I mean, I could kill pine straw if you let me. I'm going to set these around my house. They're pretty cute. But I do like cutting the points off. They're not as intrusive. They don't look, they hold the same, but they're just not as prominent. So make sure you cut the tips off of those arrows. They'll work just as fine. Thanks for joining me, guys. Thank you, moderators. Thank you, Ko-fi supporters. Thank you, Patreon supporters. Thank you to all of my new YouTube memberships. Get your membership, guys. In case you need the link, let me see if it will send. There's the link to get memberships if you want your little cricket cutie beside your name. Make sure you get that. And going to give a shout out again to EJ's Fun Prints. Thank you for being a YouTube membership supporter. We greatly appreciate you. You guys have a wonderful night, and I will catch you on Wednesday.